away there for a minute.
How are you getting on? You well?
Great, how are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Good, welcome to the bar.
Jeez, you're all in flying forward tonight. Fair play to you.
You're in good company here now. The place is rammed with cultures.
Love it.
We're trying our best to bring culture to the masses, and you're doing the same on Loving the Country. How's the show been going?
Do you know what? It's actually brilliant to be there watching all of the people going on their dates. Do you know the do's and don'ts? We've all been on that date where you're like, oh my God, I need to text my friend to get out of here.
Yeah.
But like, it's brilliant because, you know, they're all looking for the one thing. The name is called Loving the Country, and of course they're all looking for road frontage. That's it. You know, they say it's love, but really it's road frontage. You know, the love is extra. Yeah,
And,
it's great.
What do the farmers be looking for in a partner?
Someone that can cook a good breakfast.
Right.
They can, milk the cows, feed the calves, put up the fencing, the usual stuff.
Very
Like, you'd
A
right.
farm relief worker.
Yeah, I'm kind of more or less, yeah.
Does size matter when farmers are dating in terms of acres? 10 acres, 50 acres, like farms. I'm talking farms here.
Well, what's small to some and what's big to some different. Like,
As they always
each
say,
to their own.
it's not the size of the field, it's what you do with it.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you have to remember as well, it's not just farmers in rural Ireland. Like, there's butchers, there's principals, there's loads of different people. And I think that's the reality, is that a lot of people are actually struggling to meet somebody.
Yeah. Now, people may not know this, but this is not the first time you and I have been on screen together.
No.
Back in 2015,
Yeah.
you interviewed me.
I did.
This is well before the two Johnnies was on the go.
Yeah, absolutely. It was very different. So it was a Camogie show that we were doing, and he was a hurley maker.
Yeah, in the former life.
So I went all the way down to Care, and I remember you were just telling me you'd long hair.
Can we see the photo?
Yeah, here we go.
I found this on my Instagram.
Oh my God! That is a big hurley.
It's what you do with it.
Which one are you?
Big hurley, small finger.
The coat of me, lads. That was I had the long hair and the beard, and you came down filming the show. And you took that hurley away with you, the regular size one you have.
I was going to say, I didn't take the big hurley with me, definitely not. I did play with it.
Did you ever use it?
I did. I probably broke it as well in the next match, but that's a good sign though.
So it was a good hurley.
Full hard, full fast.
Okay, no, it's just that you never actually paid me for that hurley. Now, it was 2015, so there's a bit of
inflation on that.
Bit of inflation.
Much like the parish quiz, maybe I can fix your toilet or something like that. We can come to some arrangement.
I'll leave that with you.
I'll look after that. Now, for those of you who have been living under a rock, and you won 4 All-Ireland titles with Cork as well. That's incredible.
Amazing.
I didn't do it on my own. I didn't do it on my own.
Yeah, but you got to lift the trophy, you get captain Cork. It's amazing.
Do you miss playing now?
Yeah, all the time, to be honest. Like, I was, when I was playing, like, when say I was 10, 11, 12, to call me average would have been paying me a compliment. Like, I wasn't a great Camogie player. And then I kind of got better as I grew older and got a bit tougher, got stuck in. And then when you kind of play with Cork and you're sitting in the dressing room with all these greats, you're like, oh my God. And the fear can kind of overwhelm. But when you get out into the pitch in the 4 lines, the competitor took over. And then I was like, there's Tipperary girls like back in the day that took scalps out of my shins. But I took a few scalps out of them as well. So we're not doing too bad. Yeah, we're not doing too bad.
But you're a proper country girl, and speaking of loving the country, how did your family react when you married a dub? Shenanigans!
Yeah, like back in 2015, I retired from Cork, but I think for my dad, the thing he found harder was the fact that I moved away from Cork. Because, anyone in Cork were like, why would you ever want to leave Cork? So I moved up to Dublin, found a dub, and, I was like, okay, he was going to meet the family a few months later. He did his due diligence. So on the way down, he went into a shop. What do you think he bought? Like, what would you normally bring home? Like, go on, anyone?
An old gateau cake.
Apple tart, gateau cake, bottle of wine. Wasn't a bottle of wine, wasn't the apple tart, it was the Farmer's Journal.
Okay.
So he literally read it cover to cover just to impress my dad, who was a dairy farmer. So he sits inside the kitchen, he's starting to talk about like the types of fertiliser and the price of milk, and my dad's kind of looking at him and going, what, you don't even own a pair of wellies, like what are you doing? But he appreciated the sentiment nonetheless. But then he started getting a bit cocky and started talking about sheep, and I was like, we don't have sheep, no. Abort. So Dad took him down the farm anyway, just because he was like, all right, we'll see if this man can work. Now Kev's 6'5" as well, and he prided himself on being fit, like, and keeping in shape, whatever, and exercising. And Dad said, I'm just going to get you to stand in the gap. Kev was like, well, I know this one. Like, this is handy enough. I just have to stand in the gap. But what my dad didn't tell him was that there was calves that were going out into the field. You know anyone that like calves go down to the field now for the first time? These are 100 kg beasts, like nearly bigger than Kev. And next thing, I'm there for a while going, where's Kev after going? So I walk down the farm and I walk into the shed. There is Kev literally straddling a calf in a headlock. And he was like, when you told me I was going to get to know your family, this isn't what I had in mind. But he stuck around and he ended up being a husband now.
Lovely.
And with him being a Dub and you from Cork, is there any cultural clashes now between the two of you? He doesn't struggle to understand you or anything like that.
Well, do you know what? Anytime I do go back to Cork now for a period of time, he'll say that I'll come back up and he'll be like, hang on a second. Slow down now. I need subtitles. But I'm like, you're north side Dublin. I'm the exact same when you meet your family. I'm sure we're all the same. You know, like just when you're at home.
You
like
pick
that,
it up. You speed up.
you do. And all of a sudden you're like, everything's beautiful, boys, beautiful.
100%. As soon as I go back to Ross Gray, it's like, here, kid, well, how are you getting on? No, not too bad.
Yeah, I live with a lot of people. Well, how are you getting on?
Well.
Come here, but you, very proud Cork woman, you actually represented Cork in the Rose of Tralee.
I did. Yeah, I know. Sometimes I can't believe that happened. So it was the same
Yeah,
year.
you've done so
actually.
much, you nearly forget all
It
the
was
things.
2014, so I was Cork captain and I got the chance to be the Cork Rose because back then there was the age limit and I was on the age, so you're like under 14, like, well, if I don't do it now, I'll never do it.
Okay.
So I went in and got a chance to be the Cork Rose and I had such great crack because like there was girls from all over the world that were, you know, literally there and we just, you know, it wasn't like, oh, I had this aspiration to be the Rose of Tralee, but I just was like...
It was great crack.
Yeah, like we had 2 weeks back there, but we had won the quarter-final against Offaly. I think about the week beforehand, and I had cracked a bone in my hand.
Typical Offaly, you might have.
We won though, so it was okay. So I was like, okay, so as the hand was starting to get blacker and blacker and more bruised, I was thinking, oh, okay, we're playing Wexford in the semi-final. How am I going to go on stage on national telly and like hide the bruise on my hand? Because I hadn't got the cast on. Yeah. And so I stood there, and if you look at the pictures of me as the Rose, I've never stood in a more ladle-like position in my life.
We have one.
Oh, do you? No, I can assure you, I wasn't trying to stand any stereotypical
like someone
ladle-like
Downton
way.
Abbey.
It's just because I was hiding the big bruise from the broken hand that I didn't want Wexford to know in the semi-final that I had a broken hand against the win for me. But it worked, and we beat Wexford and we won the All-Ireland.
Oh, yeah!